Hello, this is Ken Sisk. Welcome back to Wood, Stone, and Steel. Today's topic is why do we use concrete for sidewalks and curb, and why not stone like I'm walking on right now? Well, I'm not walking, I'm standing right now. But right here we have a slate walkway, okay? This slate walkway has been here probably since the late 1800s. Still here, still walkable, all the way down as far as you can see. This is probably another 3 blocks before we get to the ocean, but beautiful. People love it, it's historic, it's enduring, and I'm just wondering why we have switched from stone walk to concrete walk. Of course, the initial install price for concrete is cheaper, so to speak, so it may be around $5 up to $15 a square foot, depending on the length of sidewalk that's being installed, but the long-term cost, I believe, is more expensive. Again, this slate walkway has been here since 1880, 1890, still walked on. It's broken a little bit here and there, but it can be picked up and reset. Concrete, you can't do that. And so I want to talk a little bit more about why I believe that we should be using stone for walkways. And these stone walkways could be pavers, could be 2 feet by 2 feet wide, 1 foot by 1 foot wide, it could be any dimension whatsoever, but these are enduring materials. Stone is much more enduring than as far as concrete is. Same thing with curbing. You'll see throughout the world, you'll have very hard stone, usually a granite curb, and it'll be there for hundreds of years, 300, 400, 500 years. They just pick up the granite and reuse it again. So let's think this through logically. All right, so if I want to replace the concrete sidewalk, what am I gonna do? First, I gotta get a permit from the town to say I have to replace my walk. Then I'm gonna get the crew to come out here. They're gonna jackhammer up all the concrete. Then they're gonna have to get a truck or a dumpster to put the concrete to haul away. Then they're gonna have to come back, they're gonna have to lay out the formwork, but before they do the formwork, they're probably gonna have to get more material as far as the sub-base, because it would have been taken out with the concrete that attached itself to the sub-base, so they have to bring more material in. Then they're gonna have to form it, stake it out. Then they're gonna have to have parking and traffic, right? So they're gonna have maybe have a traffic cop out there to stop from cars coming in to where you're working. Then I'm also going to need to cone off the area for when I bring the concrete truck here. Concrete truck's going to have to be close enough so I can pour the concrete in the entire walkway. Then I'm going to need probably at least 4 men, maybe 5 men to actually rake all the concrete in from one end to the other. Then they're going to have to tool it in so they can make the joints, the cuts for the breaks, and that'll take another at least 2 hours because concrete has to set up for them to start to form it, do a broom finish. Then, before they leave, they're going to have to tape it off so nobody walks in the concrete for at least 24 hours, because you can't walk on it until it gets hard enough to walk on and not encumber anything. Then they're going to have to come back the next day. They're going to have to put soil and seed. Versus, if this walk were to break, or if I wanted to replace it, I could pick up the stone, set it to the side, get the new stone, and put it back in, and I'm done. It's crazy. Why wouldn't we do this? The initial cost might be cheaper. It probably is cheaper than putting the stone in, but the long-term cost, I believe, is less expensive. Because after 20, 25 years, people putting salt on the concrete for de-icing, especially in the Northeast. In the South, it'd probably be a little different. But eventually, concrete is going to spall, it's going to crack. And in order to replace it, you have to chip it out, jackhammer it, and usually you do the whole walk again. So just think about 25 years later, that stone is still going to be here. Go another 25 years to put the next walk in. The stone is still going to be here. 100 years later, this stone is still here. This stone will still be here probably for another 100 years. So if you would do a cost versus benefit analysis over the long haul, the long term, this is probably the better solution. So another thing that you really have to consider is that stone is very pleasing aesthetically. It's beautiful to look at. It resonates with you as a human being because it is stone, it's natural. So from the granite curb or stone curb to the stone walkway, it adds a beautiful aesthetic to the town, to the property that you can't get through concrete. Again, you have pavers. We were just looking at pavers in town here. Of course, they were red to begin with, but 10, 15 years later, they're all the same color because the dye fades, because it's not a natural product. Where this gray slate stone here will last and last for hundreds of years, be the same color. Unique thing about Jersey, most of the slate came from Warren County and Sussex County. just north of us, New York City used a lot of bluestone in their walkways. That's more like a sandstone, the bluestone. So, but this slate, you can see, is pretty durable. And if it does crack, the crack stays there. You could always pick up the stone, regrade it, put it back down. If a tree, as we see these tree roots sometimes pick up the sidewalk, well, you know what? What are you going to do with concrete? It's going to crack it, it's going to spall it, then you're going to have to take it out, shave the root, reform, do everything again with the concrete, as I said before, and pour it where if you have the stone, you could take the stone out, shave the root down, put the stone back down, you're done. One of the best attributes about using natural stone is that you can use it over and over again. We were just walking on the slate walkway here in town, and this gentleman actually took some of the old slate because they busted up the slate and put in a new concrete sidewalk, and he used it as his patio. It's great. It's a nice mosaic and beautiful slate that you would probably pay a lot of money to have in your yard. But just goes to show you that stone can be used over and over and over again, and we'll never run out of it. There was another really interesting thing. I watch a lot of YouTube, and this gentleman, Mike Haduck of Mike Haduck Masonry, he was in Denmark, and he was showing their stone walkways, and they had a little granite with it as well, but they had to put a new utility line in. So what they do, they picked the stone up, they excavated, put the pile of dirt to the side, went down to the utility, cut it, put a new pipe in, backfilled, tamped everything, layers, lifts, put the stone back. They were all done in one day. In today's day and age, in the modern era, we'll say, we would have jackhammered out the whole thing. Of course, that would have to be carted away because you can't reuse it again. They would dig it all out, do their work, come back up again. Then they'd have to form it. Then they'd have to mix the concrete, pour the concrete. Of course, there's welded wire fabric. You can't walk on it for a day again and wait till the next day for the finishing. Again, this is taking at least 2 days, probably a traffic permit on top of that. So you can see the utility of stone is so much easier. It's pre-broken in effect. You can take this piece, move it out. Concrete, you just can't pick up the whole piece of concrete and cart it and come back. Plus, stone is more durable than concrete is. So this thought is overwhelming to me as far as I believe the logical conclusion is for us to use stone for our walkways as much as possible. Because we go all over the world and we see beautiful stone promenades, pathways, walkways, city centers, and it's just beautiful, all different types of stone. Matter of fact, we were in Bordeaux, and Bordeaux did a great thing with granite. So sometimes the granite is more undulating and rocky. What they did, they actually smoothed out the one surface that you walk on, so it's more pleasing to the foot, yet it's extremely durable, again, lasts for hundreds and hundreds of years and look beautiful. So keep that in mind. And remember, hit like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell so you're notified when the new episodes come out. So I can't wait to see you next week with some new wood, stone, and steel ideas. Excuse me, I'm walking here